All right. I do have my resource linked on the iTech, and so until we get it fixed, if you're able to go to iTech schedule, get the resource, the PowerPoint is right there, the Google slide, I should say. It's also a bit.ly. It's Faith Kid Lit Gurus iTech 2019. Give me a thumbs up if you're having any luck.
Can you say that again?
It is the bit.ly address,
Yeah.
and after that it's Fave, F-A-V, Kid Lit Gurus, G-U-R-U-S, iTech 2019. Yes? If you go
Did you get it from the resources though?
Yeah, on iTech, there's a resource page, and from there I have linked it as well.
Where's the resource page at?
On the iTech website,
Okay.
tech-io.org.
Thank you for being, this is not a great start. I will try to make it up. Give us a few minutes. So I think on the iTech homepage, there's a spot where it says iTech resources. And then from that drop down, you can weed out and type in my name, Sarah Staudt. And then from there, it should have my title and my link. Are we having luck now? Okay.
Sort of.
All right. Well, I'm
I have a
going to
new plan. I'll be back.
plan B, C, D, E, F.
Plan D, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to talk from my phone, and hopefully you can follow along. How's that sound? Isn't that like innovation at its finest, right? All right, so first of all, my name is Sarah Staudt, and I'm a teacher librarian in Mason City School District. On here, I gave my history. This is my 5th year as the only teacher librarian in Mason City. 7 buildings, and yes, it's a lot. And while some people are like, what? How do you do it? It's tough, I'm not gonna lie. But it's coming to a conference like this and seeing my librarian friends, that's what keeps me going. And they're the ones that this presentation here inspires me, as well as what I do in the classroom. So some days, yes, it sucks. And some days it's wonderful. I don't think I could be trapped in 4 walls all day long. I love knowing the entire district. I've discovered I love knowing these kids from when they're in kindergarten and they're now in high school, and I can tease them about that book they cut up because they were mad another friend checked out that book, and use that as an example. So I have my connection. I accidentally put 2 slides in there. When I'm not busy at school, on slide 4, I am busy with my 2 sons. Levi is 10 and he's in 5th grade. Jacob is 2nd grade and he's 8. And as you can see, we spent a lot of time at the swimming pool this summer. And why I also say I'm not only busy with my 2 sons, I became pool manager for the first season ever. And how many of you think you could write a book on your teaching career alone? Okay? 1 season, I can write a book on this pool gig, all right? Chapter 2 would be, don't ask me for a raise. I don't know how many times the teens ask me for a raise. Chapter 3, dude, I don't write the checks. They run out of money, and all of a sudden they are like, can you just write me a check earlier? Another chapter would be like, you can lie better than that. So it was a great experience. I became a lifeguard. If you really want to see a librarian on a lifeguard stand in the summertime, come to Rockwell Pool. I'm sure it's very entertaining. So that's what I was busy with this summer. And there were days I thought it was a freaking train wreck running 1 pool. I thought, what is wrong with me? How come I can run an entire district of libraries, but I can't run this 1 pool? And it's just because you work with teenagers. And just like first teaching jobs, It was my first year, so can't wait to do it. My sons begged me to keep doing it. Levi said, Mom, you can keep being a pool manager until I become a lifeguard, then you could. So I'm like, what? You want your mom as your boss? So on the next slide, slide 5, I talk about the overall session description, which you probably read, and it hopefully it gravitated towards you. But really, the ultimate goal on slide 6 is I want to build a genuine culture, climate, and community of readers. How many of you are all about that? Okay, that is the ultimate goal. Kids can tell if you're real, if you're genuine. They can tell if you're fake. And through just being genuine, it really bleeds through. And the students, they are the ultimate benefit from this. All right, so my favorite kid lit gurus. Before I continue, I just have to say I look out into this audience, and I know quite a few of you, and you do amazing work, and some of you I just want to say, go away, like, you already do great stuff, you don't need to listen to me. But you're the inspiration behind some of this too. So if you're in the audience, you might see your name on here. First of all, our very own Iowa, Shannon Mcclintock Muller. How many of you know who Shannon Mcclintock Miller is? Okay? She's a teacher librarian in Van Meter, and if you follow on her blog, she's always coming up with innovative ways. If anything, she's an inspiration to me. And then we have Iowa's Best right here in this room, as well as the people I listed. And I included their Twitter accounts. That's where I've learned a lot of what they're doing in their classrooms. I even looked at Melissa White in here and her partner Lacey. They are other inspirations. So I feel like I could keep adding to this never-ending list. But right here in Iowa, we're doing great things. Mason City. Let's take it a closer home. I have some teachers that I work with that are doing amazing things. I also included their Twitter accounts. If anything, Carol Ann Eppins at MC Mama, it's linked. She is really a kidlit guru. She's my competition, in fact. She's always like, did you know about this book? And I always feed off of her. So she's in just one building, but she puts a lot on Twitter what she's doing. All right, let's go national. Kobe Sharp. Raise your hand if you've heard of Kobe Sharp, Kalamazoo, Michigan. All right, this guy, if I had to pick someone that, you know the good old days, I want to be like Mike Jordan. Well, when I do book talks, I want to be Kobe Sharp. All right, he exudes enthusiasm, he's genuine. I get jealous of how he knows about books that haven't even been published yet. I always think, can I make that happen? I think a lot of it is he promotes, and so publishers are willing to give him ARCs, advanced reading copies, and that's how he gets a hold of them. But he's the guy to follow. I included a YouTube video, obviously due to technical difficulties. I won't play that. But you know what? I have problems, and one of them is when I do a presentation, I have 120 slides on this thing, and we darn well know I won't get through all of them. So maybe it's a good idea that I don't show the YouTube video. Do you need me yet?
Nope.
Okay. Next
You're doing
person.
great at adapting, by the way.
Thanks.
Good job, you shared it.
All right, I'm on slide 12. Hopefully you're with me. John Schumacher, Mr. Shoe Reads. How many of you know Mr. Shoe? Okay, this video right here, I watch it over and over, and it gives me goosebumps. The excitement he has. I've met him twice in person. Has anybody else met him in person? Right? Am I over-exaggerating?
No, she's got it.
Yeah. Another, I want to be like Mike, I want to be Mr. Shoe. All right? He is incredible. If you ever get a chance, definitely go see him in person. He works for Scholastic. He's ambassador of school librarians, and he travels around, so he's another opportunity. If you get a chance, definitely go meet him. Slide 13, Andy Clemens, Athens, Georgia. Anybody know Andy? Andy's best known for Flipgrid. He is innovative. He has, I included his blog, Expect Miraculous, always innovative, very interactive. He takes a lot of technology and reading and puts them together. And another one I really, he inspires me a lot. And I have more of Andy Clemens. Pernille Rip. Does anybody know who Pernille Rip is? Okay, she is such a gentle soul with powerful words. How many of you would agree that know her? Yeah, and she has a blog, and she speaks the truth, and she shares a lot of her own internal struggles as a teacher. She's written 2 books, Passionate Learners and Passionate Readers. I would highly recommend those. Her blog every day, it just speaks truth. And she was here at iTech, what was it, 3-4 years ago? Something like that. She's best known for Global Read Aloud Day. All right, Donnellan Miller. Who knows Donnellan Miller? Okay, best known for the book Whisper, Reading Wild, and she teamed up with Kobe Sharp for Game Changer. Other inspiration I have, Shaylin Farnsworth and Erin Olson both have an Instagram account called Technoliteracies. If you want to take reading and writing and combine it with technology, a lot of great strategies. She just the other day shared out about Word Wander, similar to the other word cloud software out there. Am I going too fast? Okay. So let's go to my journey, and I'm going to slide 19. Prior to my growth plan of last school year, I did the social media connections. I reached out to authors and illustrators on Twitter, Facebook. I easily fangirl, and so just even when they click like love, isn't that just like the best feeling in the world? Okay, I fangirl so easily, but I've done that stuff. I did International Dot Day and World Read Aloud Day. I've connected with other classrooms. There's a couple of you in here that I've connected with your classrooms. So I've done all that. And then came last school year. 9 educators got together, wanted to work on a growth plan. And it was then, it's hard for me, I don't like to pick one building over the other. I try to avoid not having favorites or gravitating towards one building. I try so hard to play equal. Well, when I saw what their growth plan was, I thought, you know what, maybe if I just focus on one core building, maybe it could make quite an impact. And then maybe some of those ideas can even be taken into other buildings. And maybe some educator friends in other buildings will hear what Harding is doing and then, hey Sarah, could you do that in my building as well? And so that's why I chose to go with these people. We met once a month and we read the book Whisper by Donnellan Miller. Now I had briefly read through it super fast before this growth plan, but really dug in deep with these educators. And the best part is, these are educators who wanted me to level the entire library. They read this book, and they were like, wait a second, no, we can't do that. Or they were saying, we have to pick books at kids' level. They're good fit, just right. Wait a second, they need to read what they're interested in. This book was breakthrough. I'm like, yes, I've been saying this for years, and you finally get it. And it took the book. I think it took working with them, but that was the trick right there. I did link my growth plan. If you click on the picture, if you really want to get excited and read through it in your free time, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, so here are the highlights of that growth plan. We have literacy nights, Harding specifically. We did pizza, pajamas, and pages. Anytime you get food, it draws the crowd in. And we were able to get a local pizza establishment to donate that pizza. And then we had different rooms. We had a book walk. We had a bingo game. We had different guest read aloud. I was one of them, so I thought I was going to read one. So I ended up reading 3 different books for over a course of 2 hours. And I loved hearing my colleagues say, how do you read all day? My voice hurts just in 2 hours alone. And so it was fun. The kids got to pick and choose and go to these different rooms with their parents. Jefferson, I did not necessarily attend that event at the evening, but they had a camp out theme, and I made sure to pull books that tied into that camp out theme. They had tents, they had flashlights, and that is when the parents would go to a little area in our library and they would rotate in stations at that building as well. And slide 22. Well, I hope the lack of technology doesn't take away the presentation. So the next thing at Harding is, this was huge. I've been for years begging for meat to be implemented into our Tuesday morning professional development. And for the teacher to ask me, or the principal to say, hey Sarah, would you come into the building and do a couple book talks and recommend books and genres, and then from there the teachers can pick what you recommend. They have to read it on their winter break and come back and create a book commercial or some sort of book talk that they're going to do at the next professional development. And that was so exciting to recommend books, and for teachers who stuck to their normal usual, to be able to share it with them and then go, oh, I'm so glad you mentioned this book. I would have never known if you wouldn't talk about it. So that was quite a highlight. Then we did the staff share right after Christmas break. And then we did a recommendation display in the IC, and I thought I had a picture of that display, but we also attached QR codes to get into some technology component of attaching a book trailer QR code to the book so the kids could scan. Anybody done that before? It's really nothing new, but again, it was a huge breakthrough for this particular building because they really had not done anything like that before. Book snaps. Anybody do book snaps? Okay. How many of you have heard of book snaps? All right. All it is, it taps into our kids' social media interest, and it's a great way to teach digital citizenship. And so at Lincoln, back in October, I did a 6th grade literacy classroom, and I presented on book snaps. The whole inspiration behind that is Tara Martin. If you go to slide 900 and some at the bottom, you'll see Tara Martin's resources I've included. And from there, it was quite rewarding to see the kids take pictures and learn about editing skills, but also to make sure that they interacted with the text, whether it was to point out a text feature, make a character connection, that type of thing. And then what we did is we took these book snaps and put them onto the TV in the commons area, so as kids walked by, they could take a look at their snaps. Some of them were late to class a couple times because they would just stop and watch everything go through. And so the teachers, we had to do a couple stipulations on that. Then, okay, I thought if I did this in 5th grade, with Harding, 2nd grade, this will be no problem. Obviously, 2nd graders versus 5th graders in tech skills is quite huge, especially at 2nd grade when they only have iPads, whereas we have Chromebooks at the 5th grade level. And so from here, I did a planning session with 2 teachers, and there we decided to do an introduction, like a 3-part introduction, and then I come in and model it, and then the next time I come in, it's the student's turn. That way it was kind of baby steps through it. Am I having any luck? Is it my computer?
I don't think so, because mine's not working either, so I
It's
tried
not
to
me.
do course.
All right, and so on slide 26, I shared the PowerPoint that I did with the 2nd graders. What I discovered with 2nd graders is they have not really had much experience with Google Slides, and it was on the fly moment that the first teacher, Miss Whitebeamer, said, I have Seesaw. So we went to Seesaw and practiced the same concepts in Seesaw, and their parents were so excited to see their results. In Mrs. Lang's class, she does not do Seesaw. They did Class Dojo. Now the cool part about Class Dojo is you have all those emojis and characters, and that really got the kids excited to build more emotion and show that deeper connection with the text. Also, on slide 27, I want to highlight with second graders, I've discovered you can't just hand them a tool and expect that they'll know what to put on it. And so I have a think sheet, and they had to plan out before they could go to the next step. With Class Dojo and Seesaw, we found that actually they were pretty good at getting the concept down. But if you were to do Google Slides, I would probably recommend a plan sheet. And then Mrs. Lang's class, yes, on slide 28, I linked it telling you that it did not work to do Google Slides. Now, slide 29. All right, Children's Book Week. Does anybody do any celebrations during or focus on Children's Book Week? It's in May. It's not as common as International Dot Day October. And then we've got Global Read Aloud with Pernille Rip. That's right now going on. December is Hour of Code. I try to focus on celebrations and from there create events that teachers can sign up with me. And so at Harding, it was because of this growth plan that we were able to focus on Children's Book Week. And from there, we did a book bracket tournament. Yes, we should have done it during March Madness time, but it was still fun to do it. We did pre-select the books, and from there we used Google Forms to run the voting. And I did link the Google form and it hopefully should pop up right on yours. We did book commercials, and I took a screenshot of an email with our instructional coach. I teamed up with her, and we offered to go into classrooms to teach how to use Flipgrid, Seesaw, that type of thing to use for their book commercials. And then, of course, we have dress-up days during Children's Book Week, and then the pizza, pajamas, and pages. All right. I'm not going to bore you to death and have you read the end of my growth plan. So when you go to slide 31, in a nutshell, there's years I've built and I've made progress, but I felt like last year exploded more than ever because I had 9 educators on board, and we were reading the same book, and we were wanting to plan activities. And I think that was the key. So if you looked at my 15-page reflection page, really in a nutshell, I accomplished more than I ever have before. And so I don't have my growth plan identified for this year, but I'm right now listening and trying to see maybe there's another building that's going to build a culture of readers, and maybe I'll hook onto them this year. So far this year, despite I don't have my growth plan identified, I did go around to Roosevelt Elementary. They're a next school I see building a culture of readers, and they did a free little library. They have one outside, but they also have one in the Commons entrance area. And that's their first thing they've implemented this year, is books that kids can take. Well, I decided to ask the instructional coach, hey, what can I do here to get kids excited reading the new books that came in over the summertime? And she said, do book talks. And so I did a sign up in 2 days. I covered we have 4 sections of every grade level. In 2 days, I covered every grade level. And I shared a Google slide. I discovered that instead of just showing the book and reading about it, I tied it in with a Google slideshow to get the tech part in and a big visual. And I found that if I talked about a book that same author wrote previously, by having that visually up there, it made it easier for the kids to identify the books. All right, what I've done in the past years, I'm going to go to slide 35. You know, in your mind, when you create your presentation, you think it sounds great, and then you get up here and you're like, oh, that's not good. So that's why I might skip a few or rearrange. Book trailers. Who likes book trailers? They hook them. And so I provided a couple of links in a search tip for you on slide 35. And then slide 36, oh, I really wanted to show this on the screen. The Good Egg is an example of an elementary book talk trailer that's really good and gets the kids excited. Okay. Pause for a brief commercial. I wonder how my kid-led gurus would handle this situation. And then a shameless plug, I present tomorrow, so if you are like, she sucked at this, give me a second chance tomorrow. Are we waiting? Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, so now let's go to slide 37. Again, Kobe Sharp, right here on this particular trailer, I shared he's highlighting picture books he loves so far. And if you just pay attention to his excitement, I just wish I could emulate that just as well as he does. All right, another book trailer, so I targeted a K-12, she is an Iowa author, Jenny Muller, and she did Flash Fall. She created this exact book trailer with her husband. I met her in person. It was fascinating to hear how they created it and they edit. Am I getting on the right track? While he keeps going, slide 39. A really go-to that we continue to build on is our IASL Book Awards. The Executive Board's goal this year is to have a one-stop shop that you can go there. Bingo! Okay, pause. Cross your fingers. Slide 39. Awesome, okay. Thank you. So with these, the intent is we will be linking all the book trailers onto that website, so you're not having to hunt and search for all those. How many of you love the Iowa Book Awards? Yes, yes. And so that's a good place. I did include the link to that. Yeah, I think we're getting there. And on slide 40, I provided the link from our IASL, and I also, Chelsea Sims from Iowa City, again, another Iowa great, she created her own thing link, and so I also included the link for that. Now, if you're wondering for the high school level, you're like, ooh, what are some good trailers? I did some research off of Chelsea Sims, and this book cannot stay on the shelves. One of Us is Lying. It's by Karen McManus. Okay, I included the book trailer for that, but even if you just read the inside book jacket to students, they love it. That is a hot, checked out book, okay? And so I included the book trailer for there. Kwame Alexander, who went to Iowa Reading Association, IASL, this past summer in June? Okay? Who loved Kwame Alexander? I get goosebumps still. That guy is incredible, dynamic. Anybody out there want to speak and tell me what you thought? It was amazing, right? And I have his book trailer for Solo, and so I thought he's great just to listen to and learn about how he writes his books. So this is a great trailer that you can watch from his point of view. I've come across this as I was doing some research. Oh, here we go. Do you guys want to listen to this one? Okay.
I've been a music fan since I was a kid. I listened to a lot of gospel. When I write books, I listen to jazz. When I'm on my way to a book signing or a school visit, it's always hip-hop. When I was in high school, it was all about rock. It was all about that energy and that fervor and that verve. And I wanted to write a story where I could talk about that kind of music. Where I could talk about, I can have the energy of that kind of music sort of rise off the page. So music was the frame but I'm in love with love. So I wanted to write about love. I wanted to write a love story about, this idea of if you want to receive it, you gotta give it. And if you want to give it, you gotta have it. So how do you have love? It's sort of an oxymoron. How do you have love and you're looking for it at the same time? And that's really what a lot of young people deal with. I know it's what I deal with. And I wanted to write that story about this young man who's trying to find love. And the music sort of helps him find it.
Are you gonna need my clicker for the rest of the? I'm kidding.
I got nothing else to do.
All right. So you know how you're in YouTube and it's just like your kids. They watch one thing and then on the side they see something and it gravitates. This I got lucky and came across, and what I researched and briefly watched, I was impressed. It's shelf stuff, and they do several book talks, and it's up to date. Again, next slides, or I can do it. Thank you.
How you win?
All a round of applause. All right, obviously YouTube has read-alouds. Now, the librarian in me has to caution. Copyright, questionable. I think it's best to go to the companies that provide it or look in the details to see if they've been granted permission. And I do know, so YouTube has its options, but Storytime with Ryan and Craig is a new website. Fourth graders are sucked into this in Carol Ann Evans' room from Mason City. And she's the one that hooked me onto this. They do some of the newest books. I think it has some good options. The Bad Seed, again, if I would have the technology working, we had The Good Egg. This is a sequel called The Bad Seed. Coming out in December, The Cool Bean comes out. And it is such fun read-alouds with great lessons. What I want to highlight here is there are a lot of people that read The Bad Seed, but as you can see, Harper Kids, they actually do the read-aloud of it. And so I think paying attention to who produces it is key. And then, of course, book trailers. You can make them on your own. I think this is something I want to dive in deeper, especially at our high school level. We have a new reading curriculum this year, and it's a lot. Their new curriculum is based on free choice reading, and I see an opportunity for the kids to make their own book trailers to recommend to each other. And we have here, I'm not going to play it because I'm starting to see I'm running out of time. Imagine that. Trent Reedy, this student created one, and it's actually done pretty good. I got to give a shout out, Lynn Kleinmeyer. She's one of our Iowa, she's a digital consultant, and she has done this presentation. It was in 2016. I did ask her if I could link it and share it with you because she has some great stuff there. My favorite is chatter pics in this, and taking a picture of the title, and the kid has the character moving their mouth to give a book talk about it. And so there's that linked in there. Here are some ways you can share your book trailers, both self-created and made by others. Flipgrid, S'more, Simply, Seesaw, these are probably not new to you, but I just thought I'd give this as an idea. Obviously, social media. If you have a Facebook page for your library program, that could be the place to put it. Here are some other things you can use to share the videos: QR codes, Padlets, thing links, Google Classroom, your library website. And, whoops, I accidentally, we'll skip, whoops. I didn't mean to click on that. Oh boy. It's getting excited. Click happy. Come on. There we go. So this year, I want to dive into more of this. Shannon Mcclintock Miller has been talking about on her blog about Bitmojis, and using her picture to promote books. I included the blog links to that. And then we have Tony Vincent, who also works with emojis. He's right here from Iowa as well. He came to the Iowa Reading Association IASL Joint Conference. And here I provide their links. Well, from these inspiration, Southeast Polk Schools teacher librarian Jen Hewlett, is she in the house? I don't know if she's here. Anyways, Jen created this, and I asked her, she shared it on her Facebook page, her personal, and said, hey, can I share this to show that you've taken the idea from Shannon and then created it? So I want to dive into Bitmojis more with our students. Sketchnote. Does anybody sketchnote in here? Okay. What do you like about sketchnote?
Well, I think that students remember things a lot more because of the visual impact.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time, and they have a lot of practice with it, but it sticks with them. I see as my students go on, they're still doing it in upper grades, so.
Great, great, yeah. It's visual, it helps them remember it. And so I actually have noticed, oops, I'm going farther ahead. I've noticed in Jefferson Elementary, I have a 4th grade teacher right now that wants to create her growth plan centered around Sketchnote. And so part of me wants to dabble with her on it, but then I don't know if I want to commit to full sketchnoting as my growth plan when I've got so many other buildings to impact. But at least it's an idea, and I'm excited to see teachers on board with that. All right, tying in literature and STEAM. This is an author right here from Iowa, Liz and Lucy LaRue. I gotta always think of LaRue and then take out the Lou. And LaRue, it is a mother-daughter team. This daughter is 13 years old, and they created this graphic novel series, and it's based on STEAM. There's 5 girls in each book. Lucy, the daughter, herself plays Lucy in the book. And each of these 5 girls has a STEAM superpower. They face challenges together and use their superpower to work together to solve the problem. It is absolutely fascinating the fact that Liz, the mom, writes the story. Lucy edits the story. And Lucy will say, Mom, that's not how the 9-year-old should talk. That's not what a 13-year-old does. And she adds her perspective in it. And why I want to dive deeper into this is because it ties into STEAM, it ties into literature, graphic novels. Can we just say that's hot, right? Everyone, the kids, you can't keep them on your shelf. And so just tying on all those combinations, I see an opportunity for it. And I included 3 of her books. Her 3rd book just came out last week. Her 4th book comes out in March. They are contracted for 10 books. And thanks to Central Rivers AEA, we met her. Who was at that meeting? Lindsay was. We met the author and the mom, at least. The daughter could not miss school, and she had a volleyball game. But I'm hooked, and I think they have some great books coming out. They're contracted for 10. And I'm seeing if I can get her to come visit our school. Here's a book trailer that describes it, but due to time, I'm not going to share because I want to be sure to get some other ideas. All right, literacy ideas that could be technified. You've Been Booked. Has anybody heard about Shannon's You've Been Booked program? She takes a set group of books, she puts them each in a book bag, and I saw some nodding heads. If I'm not saying it correct, please correct me. And from there, she passes them on to classrooms, and then the goal is to rotate the books, get the kids talking about it. Anybody want to add? Was I on the right track somewhere, right? So here's the deal. It's a great way to promote books. My question, and then just recently on Facebook and Future Ready Librarians, someone came out with a Halloween version, so I screenshot that idea. I thought that was pretty clever. You can change it to holidays or themes, genres. My question is, how could you technify this? Knowing we have all these tech tools. Yes?
So we did this at our school, and our librarian had us, she included a QR code for Flipgrid, and so then the classes all read the books, posted it on Flipgrid, and then the Flipgrid, there's a code in the library where other kids can check out the books we read.
Awesome.
Reviews.
That is great. I'm glad to hear that's actually, I had that idea, but to hear, what library or district are you from?
Yeah, Waukee, and
Okay.
it's at Brookfield Elementary.
Okay, I'm gonna have to reach out because I have that idea in my head, but I would like to learn how to actually implement it, that type of thing. But I did create a Google Doc, so if you think of a way to technify this book it concept, you've been booked. You're certainly welcome to add to it. Whoops, link slide. I provided information on Flipgrid. I know that was a huge theme last year at iTech, and they just continue to evolve. It's a great piece of digital citizen, how to interact appropriately with your audience. So I included some background information on that. Andy Plemons, again, he's the guru behind Flipgrid that I've watched on his blog. I'm kind of flipping through these quick because I want to make sure I don't miss out on anything that maybe hopefully will inspire you. Here, Google Suite, all those tools, just pick one of those and come up with something with your books. And from there, it just evolves into something. You can make it interactive and collaborative. Here's some tech tools to create promote, which I think you guys pretty much have an idea. Using your social media, all formats. I provided some suggestions. I've posted this, check this out a lot on my Twitter, and it's fun and it makes me feel so good when my colleagues see it and they interact back with me, or they'll see me in the hallway, hey, I saw your post, and I heard about this book, what do you think? And it's just created some good conversations. All right, Facebook Lives. I put up their watch copyright. I had after seeing that principal go viral and read stories, well, it came to be that the publishers were contacting her after it went viral. So with having the publishers hand her books and send her, she doesn't have the copyright issues. I've seen a couple of people try to copy that concept, and what they don't realize is you have to ask for permission. I think it's a great idea. It's just reaching out to the author, the illustrator, the publishing company to ask, hey, can I read this book? And from there, if you get the go-ahead, I have ideas. Like for me, I've thought about being in one classroom in our district and doing a Facebook Live and having the other buildings connect. Or if it's recorded, then they can play that at a different time that works for their schedule. So I've thought about it. I'm a little leery on the copyright issue. Pinterest, I create Pinterest boards, and for here I linked a few of those. I like to have a teacher reach out to me, and that's a place where I will add ideas for a book. Wonder, when that came out, people wanted to know what else they could do with Wonder. So that's where I would go to Pinterest, I would pin a couple things on a board and then share it back out to the teacher. Oh, and here she's leaving. Gamification. Lindsay Leck, Waverly Shell Rock Community School District came up with this idea of using a combination of digital badges with reading motivation. The kids turn in via Google Forms something they've read and completed, and she does a book menu. In it to win it she's done, and Chopped is another one. And each book they read, they earn a reward, and the ultimate reward is a sleepover, condensed sleepover in the library. And of course, they're not going to stay overnight, but it ends at like 10 or 11 o'clock, and it's after hours. Feel free to reach out to Lindsay. It's a great idea. She and I have talked about creating some sort of hashtag project with this concept and connecting our two libraries with this project. Here's some tech tools I've provided. Adobe Spark, that's a really good one. I like the animation you can bring to it. Again, these are either can be done on a website or with apps. And Chatterpix, again, I like that one. It's just so much fun. Book Snaps, again, I give you information. If you really want to see, I'm up to slide 77, 79. I'm gonna skip because those are ones if you want to go back and look at. I want to skip again. You think it's great in your head, and then you look and you start presenting, you're like, that's not the right sequence. Here, I want to go to slide 98. Slide 98. How many of you have a kid will come up to you and go, I don't know what to read next? And you're like, like you give them all your favorites and they're like, read that, don't like that, whatever. Well, here I've got a book seer. It is powered through Amazon, and your next read is powered through Goodreads. Click in the title they like to read, and from there it will offer suggestions. Digital tools for reading. I love to promote Iowa AEA Online. We are so lucky our AEAs provide this. And this is another great place. Freedom Flicks, Book Flicks, True Flicks, all those have literature. It reads it to them. I think that offers a great alternative for our students. Although, when you ask students what do they prefer, an actual print book or a digital, the studies are showing they prefer the print. And I think that's a good thing. To have that physical book in your hand and manipulate it. So when I came up with this presentation, I'm like, I like technology combined with reading, but really it's the heart of reading is that physical book. And so, yeah, I want to highlight down further a new concept that we just started 3 years ago at Jefferson Elementary, makerspaces. Who has a makerspace? Okay, do I go until 12:05? Oh, God, goodness. Well, anyways, I just have to say makerspace, and I'm going to end on this, is we have at Jefferson a makerspace in our library, and at the beginning of the month we use a read aloud, and then we create challenges that build off that read aloud. And we use a combination of VR goggles, Pebble Go, and we use those to feed off of that book. Whew, I have a lot more. My bottom line is I hope that you see trying to build a culture of reading can be done through technology and in person. I hope you walked away with a new tech tool, a new idea, something to inspire you. And thank you very much.